Hello, everyone. This is Daryl Guberman, CEO of Guberman PMC LLC, a quality consulting firm here in Connecticut. You know, you hear me bash Boeing a lot, but I must go to the root cause of this mess. With Boeing, with Lockheed, with Pfizer, with Johnson & Johnson, all of them sitting on the American National Standards Institute and the American National Crediting Board. It is set up and structured as like the mob of the 1930s, where you have the Godfather and all the henchmen. It is time for me to release this, and I will tell you this. This video is about the deeper we go, the more uncivilized it becomes. QA expert Daryl Guberman exposes the seedy side of your ANSI/ANAB certification because it's not worth the paper it was printed on. Do you know how many times I got that when I first started my business back in 2011, and I opened my registration body in 2012? On the ISO website, it says accredited or unaccredited. It really makes no difference, but accreditation shows a competence in quality that is being dispensed by the registration body that is accredited by the third-party accreditation body, like ANSI/ANAB. As we can see with Boeing, Boeing sits on ANSI/ANAB's management committee board that can grant, suspend, and withdraw certification. On their supplier portal, we see, and I've showed you before, that ANSI/ANAB is called out or internationally equivalent. And then we see on their supplier bulletin that, again, it says, send in your AS9100 certificate as long as it is ANSI/ANAB accredited. Send in your certificate and send in your parts. Isn't that a tender moment? We see with Lockheed Martin. In 2013, Lockheed had a government inspector general report, and it said that Lockheed Martin did not properly flow down disciplined AS9100 principles and processes. And then you find out they have 719 rejections at that time. Now it's up to 821. A continuous improvement exam of this would say get rid of Jim Tassett, the CEO, because after their 801st ship, as a matter of fact, they're still producing aircraft with rejections. 821. It's gone up a lot since 2013, 11 years later, when they're supposed to be doing process improvements. Looks like it says process improvements with defects. Unbelievable. Then you have Pfizer skipping quality processes and standards in the process of the COVID vaccine. You also have Johnson & Johnson recalling 75 million vials of this mess, and because of contamination and quality issues. We go back to Lockheed. And Patrick Shanahan, the new CEO since 2023, September, Patrick Shanahan, who used to be the 30-year employee at Boeing, and then he was a Deputy Secretary of Defense under Donald Trump, when he was questioned under deposition about what did he feel about the F-35 program, because a 30-year member at Boeing, they thought some jealous jackass probably was saying, oh, he's going to rub up and try to get them to sell a Boeing product to generals. So jealousy has it, I'm sure. And human nature has it. Yeah, the guy was probably right. He was probably trying to sell some Boeing equipment to the government, possibly. But when asked about the F-35, Patrick Shanahan said, the aircraft is fucked up. Let me just bring up there you go. I apologize. This is going to be my deposition to you. For those of you who have said over the years, Daryl, I gotta pay to play. Daryl, we gotta play the game. Daryl, Boeing is forcing themselves down on me. Lockheed Martin won't let me in. In fact, we have a letter from Lisa Gross from 2015, the ethics officer, who said that we only accept IAF. Yet, in 2015, we tried to warn Lockheed Martin that the International Accreditation Forum, which is an association of accreditation bodies incorporated in Delaware, was taken over by a communist Chinese national, Zhao Xinwu. We're not going to get into this, but I'm going to tell you this. The IAF was founded by the American National Standards Institute, ANSI, and the affiliate, the American National Crediting Board. Now we're going to continue on. This video is for the businesses that are ANSI/ANAB accredited. I was in a telephone conference with some representatives of Boeing with a potential customer and myself, who I have known since 1998. Boeing ultimately refused our certification because we were not ANSI ANAB accredited, but under an independent accreditation body. In 2013, at the American Society for Quality Speech, which was videotaped, and they owned 50% of the American National Crediting Board, and ANSI, the American National Standards Institute, owned 50%. I, Daryl Guberman, gave the New Haven and Fairfield County branches a speech. We were verbally approved by Region 3 Director Dave Levy of the ANSI ASQ ANAB, Mr. Levy, in 2016. Randy Dodry, who had handed over the IAF in 2015 to a communist Chinese national, Zhao Jinwu, who I mentioned, who's been involved with our quality since 1994. Randy Dodry was now the technical advisor of ANSI ANAB and principal and treasurer on the IAF Tax Reform 990. This included his election to the IAAC, Inter-American Accreditation Cooperation in Lima, Peru. He invited us to join either ANAB or IAF, but we refused due to the IAF being controlled by the CCP, China Communist Party, since 2015. There are times when it is in the best interest of all people that someone must shed light on the misappropriation of others attributed by ANSI ANAB, the IAF, International Laboratory Accreditation, which is a sister organization of IAF, IAQG, Pfizer, J&J, Boeing's, Lockheed, Martin, DHS, FBI, CDC, NIH, FDA, FAA, USDA, DOJ, Department of Commerce, NIST, the National Institute of Standards and Technology, part of the Department of Commerce, FBI, EPA, etc. These organizations and corporations all sit on ANSI ANAB's board. In order that justice may prevail, that in doing so not only may an injustice be corrected, but humanity may be better served in the process as well. As I described in my cases and share the wealth of information and videos, it should become abundantly clear not only what the injustice that was done to myself and my business, but also the damage which has been occurring to many of the population and businesses by virtue of a corrupt system that is profiting from steering companies, both public and private, into a system of accreditation bodies like ANSI ANAB, who are founders of the IF, an association of accreditation bodies, both national and international, which are equivalent in accreditation to ANSI ANAB, who are underwriters for the IF and its sister organization, ILAC, which is in violation of sound business principles, but this same system is in the violation of government statute, namely U.S. Code Article 15, Section 19, concerning interlocking directorates, USC 241, conspiracy against. If two or more persons conspire to injure, oppress, threaten, or intimidate any person in any state, territory, commonwealth, possession, or district, in the free exercise of the enjoyment of any right or privilege secured to him by the Constitution of laws of the United States, or because of him having to exercise the same. In reality, what is happening is that the major accreditation bodies like ANSI, ANAB, in collusion with major corporations like Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, etc., and federal agencies, as I mentioned, are causing companies that want to do business with them to sign on to accreditation bodies like ANSI ANAB that in reality are not serving those companies' best interest. My name is Daryl Guberman, and remember, it is not the size of the dog in the fight that counts, it's the size of the fight in the dog, and it is absolutely deplorable what is going on in the accreditation scam that ANSI ANAB, Boeing, Lockheed Martin, Pfizer, and Johnson & Johnson collude together with, and also the DHS, who sits. I was there in April of 2024, April 17th. I stood up at DHS, the Department of Homeland Security, who is not only just a board member, but they're also a customer, like the DOJ, DHS, Department of Commerce, and also the FDA. This is disgusting, ladies and gentlemen. Stand up. Be a man or woman. Stand up and get your head out of your ass, because this is a scam. 203-556-1493, and I thank you.